Hello everyone, and welcome to the Python installation and setup lecture. For this course, we're going to be installing Python using the Anaconda distribution. And all that means is a distribution is just a version of Python that also comes pre-packaged with additional useful libraries. Now the Anaconda distribution is actually quite large, so we're going to be leaving the full download of it as optional. I'll show you the full download site. You can go ahead and just click on the graphical installer if you want, but we're going to be showing you also how to install what's known as Miniconda, which is just a smaller version of Anaconda without so many of the additional packages. That way, if you don't have a lot of space on your computer, you can just download that. Again, if you already have Anaconda or Python on your computer, feel free to just skip this installation lecture, but make sure to watch towards the end where we show how to set up and configure Atom to have a terminal. Okay, let's get started by going to Google in our browser. Alright, here I am in my browser, so go to google.com and then type in Python Anaconda, hit enter, and the very first link should be the continuum.io/downloads page. Click on that. And this will take you to continuum.io/downloads. And here you'll see download Anaconda now, and it has the download links for Windows, Mac, and Linux. If you scroll down here, or just click on these links, it will automatically take you here, but let me zoom in a little bit so we can see this clearly. Here are the download links for Anaconda, which is the Python distribution, for Windows, OS X for Mac, and Linux. Now for this course, we will be using Python 3.6. And we're basically going to require you to use Python 3.6 because Django in future versions is going to be dropping support for Python 2. It's one of the first main libraries to just be completely dropping support for Python 2. They're really pushing towards the future here. So because of that, we will be using Python 3 for this version of the course. Now Python 3 and Python 2 are extremely similar, and I will mention some things as we code along through the course, some key differences between them. But again, they're very similar. But for our future proofing of this course, we're going to be using Python 3. Now, if you're on Windows, all you have to do is download this installer. Remember to choose the correct 64-bit or 32-bit installer, and then just double-click on that executable file and follow the instructions on the screen. If you're on Mac OS, you can come here, click on the graphical installer for Python 3.6, and then download it, double-click on the .pkg file, follow the instructions there. If you're on a Linux computer, it's also very simple. You just download the installer, and then in your terminal, you type in this command right here, bash, and then the actual .sh file that you downloaded. Okay, so those are the full versions of Anaconda and the Python distribution. These are essentially the easiest to install. So you just download and follow the instructions. But you'll notice that they're quite large. They're about 422 megabytes each. If you scroll up a little bit, you should see a link here that says try Miniconda, and that basically saves disk space or just download time. Click on that link, Miniconda, and it will take you to this page where it has the installations for, or the downloads for Miniconda for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Now if you're on Windows, it has an executable installer, so again, all you have to do is click on that and then follow the instructions. For Mac OS and Linux, they're both bash installers, which means those are command line installers. If you don't know how to do those or use those, all you have to do is click here on the quick install page for installation instructions. And this has the full installation instructions. If you're on Windows, all you have to do is essentially double click that executable file that you download and follow the instructions on the screen. If you're on Mac OS and haven't actually done a command line install, it's actually also really simple. All you have to do is go to your browser, download the Miniconda installer, and then you will end up downloading this .sh file. Let me zoom in a little bit here so we can see it clearly. So you will download this .sh file, and then what you will do is in your terminal window, and you can just do a spotlight search for the word terminal, and it will bring it up directly into your terminal, wherever you saved this .sh file, put it there, and then what you're going to do is say bash, and then type in right here whatever file you downloaded. And it may not look exactly like this. Here it says latest, but whatever your file is called, just type it there. Then you just close, reopen your terminal window for the changes to take effect. Sometimes you may need to restart your computer for the changes to take effect, but usually just restarting your terminal window will make that happen. And to test your installation, you just enter the command conda list. And if you're on Linux, I assume you've probably done this before, but all you have to do is the exact same thing for Mac, bash, and then the .sh file. All right, if you have any questions on the installation or are having trouble with it, feel free to post to the Q&A forums. A lot of times, some students on older operating systems will have issues with an installation. Maybe you're on Windows 7 and you haven't quite caught up there yet, or maybe you're confused whether you have a 32-bit or 64-bit computer. Any confusion, any questions, feel free to post to the Q&A forums. I'm always happy to help you out and get Python and Anaconda working on your computer. Okay. Now let's hop over to the Atom text editor to show you how you can install a plugin which allows you to have a terminal or command line prompt right in Atom. I'm going to hop over to Atom now. Okay, here I am at the Atom text editor. You may have noticed that as I've been using the Atom text editor, I have a little plus sign here. And if I click on that plus sign, it gives me a terminal where I can type Python and then actually start using Python command prompt directly in my terminal here. So let's quit out of that. What we're going to be doing is showing you how you can install a terminal and install some plugins that will make working with Python with Atom a lot easier. So at the welcome guide, what you can do is click here on install a package and then open installer. If you can't find this welcome guide page, then all you have to do is click here, file, go to settings, which is control comma or command comma, and then click here where it says install. And what you can do with Atom is search for packages that other people have created or that GitHub has created that allow you to add really useful tools for Atom. The first thing you want to do is actually get that terminal. So type terminal, hit enter, and it will search for packages for terminal. And the terminal package we're going to be using for this course is called Platformio-IDE-terminal. So what you will do is you will click the install button for that, and then you may need to refresh or restart Atom for the effect to take place. So you will have a little blue button there. Go ahead and install it. It'll download it from the internet and directly install it. So that's the terminal package we're using, Platformio-IDE-terminal. Once you've installed that, you should be able to click on a plus sign here and then open up a new terminal. The next thing we're going to be doing is searching for Python in packages. And we want a Python package or Python plugin, that actually helps you autocomplete. So there is already built-in Python language support in Atom. You should already have something that looks like this downloaded, but I also like the autocomplete-python package, which helps you autocomplete variables, methods, and functions. Feel free to install that as well. And if you really want to explore the power of Atom packages, search for Django, and a lot of people have made other useful plugins and packages for Django. I've downloaded Atom-Django, and it helps you just build Django apps faster with Python. That's not required, but you can go ahead and explore it. There's also templates, language, Atom support, a lot of packages here and plugins that you can explore. All right, so if you are not on a Windows computer, you can feel free to skip to the next lecture. But if you are on a Windows computer, I want to quickly show you how you can change what command prompt or what terminal or what PowerShell your actual Platformio-IDE is using. So initially, by default, this new terminal will use something called PowerShell in Windows. What we want it to use is the command prompt. So we need to change the settings for that. Under here, in Search Packages, begin to search for Terminal, hit Enter, and you should eventually see the Platformio-IDE terminal that you installed. Click on Settings here once you've installed it, and it will take you to the Settings page. Scroll down on this Settings page, and then what we're looking for is this shell override. So we want to override the default shell instance to launch. And what you should do is on your computer, you need to find the cmd.executable file. And almost always it's under the System32 folder. In fact, you should be able to just type this directly into this shell override and then have it set up. So take your time, pause the screen if you need it, but set the shell override to be C Windows System32 cmd.exe, and that will change the terminal from being PowerShell to being the command prompt. The reason we do that is because sometimes the Conda virtual environment won't work with a PowerShell, and we'll be showing you how to use that in a subsequent lecture during the Django section of the course. So this really won't affect you right now for the Python level 1 and Python level 2, but when we start talking about Django, it will affect it. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly note that for Windows users. Thanks everyone, and I will see you at the next lecture. Again, any questions, feel free to post to the Q&A forums, and I'm always happy to help you out. I'll see you at the next lecture.